This thing may be the most controversial coffee making tool of 2024. What is it? It's the blind shaker. The data has been gathered, analyzed, and now we know it can improve the quality of your cup. But there's dozens of options now on the market. Which one should you choose? Well, the first thing you need to consider is, what is your portafilter basket size? In your espresso machine, you have a portafilter basket similar to this, and it has different sizes depending on the one that you chose. 58 millimeter being the most common, but it may be 49 millimeter or 54 millimeter or something else. So that's the first thing you need to know. Buy the right size for your portafilter. So some manufacturers, like this one, have made their blind shakers so that it'll work with a variety of sizes. If you're getting the blind shaker primarily for filter coffee, then the main consideration related to size is going to be, does it have the capacity to hold enough for the dose that you're brewing? These are made in a variety of different construction styles. You can get it in aluminum, like this, stainless steel, or plastic. The aluminum is light and resilient, so it's my primary recommendation. The stainless steel, while very durable, weighs a lot. Be careful not to drop it on your toes if you go that direction. You can also get them with O-rings, which will seal up the various points where grinds might get out. In practice, that ends up being difficult to clean, and so I don't recommend that. One of the challenges with the blind shakers is the potential for grinds to be retained along the sides and on the center of the shaker. Different manufacturers take different approaches to reducing this. Some will use a coating like this. Others will polish lightly the interior, while others will actually take the interior to a mirror polish. Personally, I find a coating like this tends to work pretty well at helping the grinds fall out. Now, as you use these, there will be some particles left behind on the interior surfaces, and you'll need to clean it off eventually. Most of these are waterproof, so soap and water is probably the easiest way to clean them. You can also use brushes to lightly brush off the grinds that accumulate. Some people find that to help reduce the retention, they can use alcohol wipes, and perhaps that is helpful because of it removing some of the built-up oils that the coffee grinds leave behind. Another thing to consider is the design of the plug. This one is a cone shape and allows the grinds to fall easily. This is from a Craig Lynn shaker, and there's others on the market that have this same sort of cone design to the plug. More commonly though, you'll see this style, which is much more flat. I find this a bit harder to get the grinds to shake out as I'm lifting it up and trying to get the grinds to fall out. I don't know that I'd recommend any brand specifically. I have mentioned the Craig Lynn design. I do like the two of these that I have from them. Also, the Weber Workshop shaker is well respected. There is a tip that I give though, and that is not to buy cheap ones. I've tried a number of the inexpensive shakers and they don't work very well. They have bad retention, the tolerances tend to not be very good, and they tend to get gummed up with grinds. So stick with the higher quality ones. Now in closing, I do have two tips for you. One is related to the actual shaking process. You don't need to overshake it. Just shake it lightly, back and forth, maybe 8 or 10 times. That's all you need to do to homogenize the grinds well. Then just dispense them right into the portafilter. My second tip is this. When dispensing the grinds into the portafilter basket, don't just put the shaker on top of the basket like this. There's not enough airspace to allow the grinds to fall neatly and evenly across the surface of the portafilter. Instead, you need to have some space there. The easiest way to do that is to use what you likely already have, which is a funnel about 1 inch tall that you can use as a spacer. You place that onto the portafilter basket, then set the shaker on, shake the grinds out, and you're done. Once you've tapped this on your tamping mat, the grinds will level out and you'll be ready to go. Happy brewing.